All right. So with that said, we're going to transition here. There was one video I saw came out that I wanted to watch. It was while I was it was right before I left. I didn't get a chance to watch it. What's funny now is it's been unlisted. I don't know why. It's got pretty good views. It's got 260K views. It was released 4 months ago. I just now saw this. But the reason I watch it because it's relevant now. When you see how people are reacting to. I mean, look what they did to. And this is not just in video games. This is movies. Did you guys see what they did with Jade from Mortal Kombat? Jade Mortal Kombat. So look at this. Look what they did with our look what they did with Jade, man. So this Jade used to be attractive. She was like this hot chick with nice, very revealing outfit, long hair. She's very beautiful. She was I think like in the original movie. Let's see if I can find her in like the original movies. Jade. Oh yeah, right here. This is her right here in the original movie. Can I pull this up? There we go. That's Jade, right? Look what they're doing with the new Jade. This is the new Jade right here. It's that same chick, same bald chick from that what is it? The intergalactic video game that Neil Druckmann is doing. I'm like, are you serious? Like, what are we doing here? Who thinks bald chicks? Look, I've told my wife before, I'm like, look, if you get cancer and you go bald, it's fine. I'll still love you, right? Because I'm already freaking in love with you. But let's be real. Unless they're very young and they're extremely hot to begin with, bald chicks just don't look good. And if you do find a bald chick attractive, well, you know what? It's not because she's bald that you find her attractive. It's probably because she's got a nice set of TNA that you find attractive, and you're only thinking of certain things. You don't really look. Even if she had a nice set of TNA, I would hate having sex with a bald chick. You want to know why? There's no hair to pull. I mean, you need that pull. You need that leverage. How are you going to get into where you need to get into if you? What the hell motion am I doing? If you can't pull the hair, what the fuck? Oh god! Just get a plunger. Dear, what's that plunger for? Don't worry about it, babe. Oh man, you guys are incorrigible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. There's two good reasons to watch it. Yes. And you know what? Here's the thing, Nameless. Here's what I find incredibly hypocritical. This would be one of the chicks that would be screaming probably at the top of her lungs about the way women are portrayed in video games. Look how she's dressed. Why do you think she's dressed this way? I mean, it's pretty obvious why she's dressed this way. She probably is dressing this way because she thinks she's attractive, which she is. I'm not gonna lie. That thigh there's hot. The open chest area, hot. But she's dressing this way because she wants to look good. Well, guess what? That's what guys want from their women in video games. That's what guys want from their characters, not just women, but men too. Yeah, she's appealing to the male fantasy. Exactly, Ronan. It's the male gaze that she's appealing to. Exactly. Now, here's the thing. This was a video game. Here's what guys would want. This dude would not be looking like this. This dude would be a ripped, muscular guy that looks like Kazan. That's what this dude would look like. Because guys are either A, playing as this hot chick, or they're playing as the hot, muscular bound guy wanting to fuck this hot chick. It's as simple as that. Yeah, she's a beautiful woman. She looks like she's in shape. She takes care of herself. Yeah. Yeah, any guy that said they would not hit this, straight up gay. I'm sorry. Or you just love fat women. But there are guys out there that hit the fat women. But I'm sorry, if you're hitting fat women, there's no way you wouldn't hit this too. I'm sorry. That's like going from ground beef to filet mignon or Wagyu beef. You know what I mean? That there's a huge difference there.
Yeah, a lot of the talk revolved around women.
That's a fun. She is fat, as in pretty hot and tempting. PHAT, as we used to say when I was a teenager in school. Should have gone with the context. So I don't know, Power. I think some chicks look freaking hot with the glasses on. When my wife puts glasses on, I'm like, oh, teacher, please let me act out those high school fantasies I wish I would have had.
Characters in games not being attractive anymore?
TMI. I'm sorry, dear.
And when I think about it, I have a very nuanced opinion on it, which is basically, who cares?
Everybody cares. That's why all you freaking people complain about it. Look, regarding the series from Witcher 4, okay, you guys have seen the video clips. You tell me, am I crazy in thinking that they did something to her face to fix it after everybody complained when they first revealed her? Because her face looked like one of those horse faces, right? And then they look like they fixed it. And Lord, you're right. If nobody cared, they would be talking about it. They obviously care. Yeah, if no one cares, why change it? Exactly. Naughty Dog's new game, Intergalactic, stirs up controversy with Concord comparisons. Well, look, there's a reason why Concord failed. And there's a reason why Overwatch was so successful in its initial stage, right? The characters were hot. They were well designed. Even the male characters were well designed. And people wanted to fuck them or play them or draw a lot of lewd art of them. And they drew a crap ton of lewd art of Overwatch. I still see Overwatch porn on X to this day. Was it Mercy, Widow Killer? Is that the name? And then what's the one fast chick? I can't remember her name. Tracer, I think it was. I see a shit ton of that. That's why Marvel Rivals is so popular. Exactly, because their characters are very attractive. People want to play as attractive characters, or they want to fuck attractive characters. It's if you're ugly or you look like someone who's their next door neighbor, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. Unless your next door neighbor is a supermodel, you don't want your video game characters to look like your next door neighbor.
The customers do, Greg.
Have these people?
Oh, who was that?
Have these people seen a woman up close before?
Have you? Western devs in Journo seem to have this issue with attractive women in games, but Eastern devs do not. Take, for example, the character Black Widow.
You can't tell me that people didn't love her because she was fucking hot. I'm not saying that they didn't like is it Black Widow? Yeah, I'm not saying they didn't like her character because of her character, but the way her character looked also played a big role into why people liked her character, especially men. I'm sorry. Women are going to like her character because she's a woman and she's got a prominent role in a prominent, franchise, right? But men like her character because she's hot and they want to fuck her. I'm just saying that's the truth. Whether you like it or not, that's the truth, right? I mean, look at that red hair. When she was in, was it Iron Man 2? I think that's when she was introduced. And, Iron Man was having to go up against that other Mickey Rourke or whatever his character was. And she came into that facility and she was like not killing, but beating up all those people, putting their faces in between her thighs, and she like flipped them over and then landing in a superhero pose. I mean, she was fucking hot, man. Fucking hot. That's why Shrek was very successful too. It had one sexy protagonist. Yeah, Donkey was very attractive. Exactly. You don't necessarily need a sexy character to be successful. So there's a range here, right? You don't have to be at the very top end, like very fuckable supermodel, but you need to be realistically an attractive character. You know what I mean? Whether it's a guy or a girl, there is a range, but there's also a cutoff point. You have to be above that cutoff point.
Widow. This is how she is portrayed in the Chinese Marvel Rivals. She looks really good. And this is what she looks like in the American.
I hate that fucking hair. I hate that hair stuff. I really do. But the character design, other than that, looked really good. And this looks like dog shit.
Dead game Marvel Avengers. Why are Western devs obsessed with making female characters look worse and less feminine than their human counterpart? In the side-by-side, Marvel Rivals just looks so much better. It's not even close. I also watched PlayStation State of Play last week, and the only game that I got excited for was Tides of Annihilation. I was immediately drawn in because of this stunning female character, and I was taken.
Well, that's the thing. Your character designs, whether it's female or male, will get you. It's like car shopping or just window shopping, right? It's the attractive designs, whether it be clothing, whether it be cars, whatever, toys, get you to look to begin with. Now, your product needs to be good after that initial catch, but you got to catch their attention to begin with. And character designs being attractive is one way you do that.
it back because her design is a big departure from the typical female characters in these modern games. You know what I'm talking about, the overly masculine look in Naughty Dog's new intergalactic
Even the other chick.
heritage.
Look at that other chick. Look at this other chick. Hold on.
These modern games. You know what I'm talking about, the overly masculine look in
Look at this. That's horrible too. But she's on the TV screen. She's not the main character. I'm more than willing to forgive her. Not the bald chick here sucking on drink like she's just casually eating that Jack in a Box. Leave your boy Jackie Chan alone.
Naughty Dog's new intergalactic heritage.
Yeah, female Snake Plissken. You're right. You're right.
Whatever it's called, or in Star Wars Outlaws.
She's literally got the haircut of Jason Momoa in the Minecraft movie.
That is so true.
She did.
True. Or in Spider-Man 2, or in the new Fable game, or Avowed, or in Concord, RP. And of course a Chinese studio is making this one because Western studios have become hell-bent on creating these unattractive and unlikable characters, sometimes both at the same time. Now,
Yeah, I could look. You look at whether it be Black Myth Wukong, okay, or Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, or any of the Korean games. And I don't want to push towards the Korean games too much because a lot of them are gacha games. And look, gacha games are going to obviously have very attractive characters because they want you to pull those characters and pay to pull those characters. But any non-gacha game made by an Eastern company nowadays, they're very attractive. Whether it be, like I said, Black Myth Wukong, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, you got Vindictus, which isn't it is free to play, but it is not a gacha game. Then you had the first Berserker Kazan, okay, whether it be the male version or the female version, they're attractive characters. And it's not just females that we're talking about. It's both, right? It's both male and female characters. They need to be attractive. They need to be fuckable, as in Asmongold. You may not like that term, but that's true. Yeah, like Kazan and Liza P are good Korean examples. Exactly. The characters are attractive, and they need to be. If they're ugly, why would I want to play the game? Look at Final Fantasy 14. For the most part, all the characters in that game, which it was very successful. They're kind of in a drought right now, but up until they finished their 10-year story, 2024, I think it was, with their Endwalker expansion, it was very successful, and all the character designs were attractive. All the women were attractive. All the men were attractive, whether it be in a hot hunk way or a lady killer way or a nerd way. You know, all the women, all the guys were attractive. That's just what people like to look at. You know what I mean?
I'll take you through the mass delusions going on in the game industry as well as some gamers. Before I get into it, consider leaving a like and subscribing. It'll make me very happy. The first one is that no one cares what women look like in games, unless you're a gooner. Like this one. Of course it'd be Chinese developers making better looking white women than Western devs. And Roberto says, aka gooner material for incels like you. Not like I have a problem with the design since they are good, but we all know why people...
This is what I hate. He calls people a gooner and claims that they're an incel, but then he says, but I also like the design. But he says, but, I'm not a gooner. What the fuck, dude? This is ridiculous. Blade of Mickey. Dude, I hate that he's got that name. I hate that this guy sounds like he's an Elden Ring From Software fan, because this is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. Now he would be the guy hating on Dark Souls 1 with Guinevere. Look, why is this even here? Why is she even there? Why is her boobs as big as they are? Why are you shining a light on her the way that you do? You're bringing everybody's attention to her boobs. Why are you doing that? Why is this gooner material in my game?
People like you make these types of tweets. He says, replying to the tweet that included 2 fully clothed women. There's this weird shaming element to this whole situation that if you appreciate these hot characters, you must be a pervert. Or there's this attitude like, oh, you care if the protagonist is attractive? Like this comment on the trailer. Beautiful protagonist, fantasy setting, fast-paced action combat, I'm beyond.
That's pretty much my point of view right there. Beautiful protagonist, fantasy setting, fast-paced action combat, I'm sold. Yeah, that's pretty much the way I view things.
Sold. And someone replied saying, is beautiful protagonist that important?
Yes.
LOL.
Yes.
And there is a
Yes,
whole
it is.
host of replies to this person. Yes, it's the cherry. Yes, personally, I don't give a fuck, but when 95% of games are young men, it checks out.
This is my well, I do give a fuck, but I also believe this should be why. 95% of gamers are young men. I don't know if they're young men, but they're men, right? Now, people have tried to refute that because they come up with these studies. I'm like, look, these studies, in my opinion, are probably very one-sided, or they take other games into account that we know women play, like phone games, Candy Crush, stuff like that. But a lot of these action-oriented games that we talk about, Stellar Blade, the game she's specifically talking about here, Lies of P, Kazan, even Marvel Rivals. I would think Marvel Rivals, you might have more women playing that game than the other games I mentioned. But a lot of the action-oriented games, I think it's predominantly men. I don't think women play those games. I can promise you my wife doesn't, not unless there's an easy mode set in. But even then, my wife wants the characters to be attractive. But she's not like your typical woman. Women can't play video games unless it's Zelda or some shit game like that. Well, Zelda's not a shit game. I love Zelda. But I do tend to agree with you in the sense that women tend to lean more towards those games. Yes, I do think they struggle with a lot of action-oriented games, whether it be Souls-like or whether it's Devil May Cry-like, which is why you see a lot of these games journalists complaining that the games are too hard.
Is ugly characters that important to you? Yup, not that DEIPS representation we get from Forspoken and Veilguard. Very, not really, but having ugly AF pro tags like Western AAA is jarring. Yes, 100% yes, and I'm tired of pretending that it's not. And
yes,
it just goes on
exactly
and
it.
on and on and on. It's like the Eastern studios aren't afraid of doing the unthinkable, which is apparently tempting men. If the men are tempted, who knows what they might do? They might be interested. They might even play the game.
Oh my God, they're gonna play the game, and then later they might write fan art or draw fan art or write stories about it of how they want to fuck these characters. Oh my God, can you believe it? Someone think of the children.
The Marvel Rivals is truly pushing the boundaries, doing what other studios won't do, and even showing a happy heterosexual relationship with white.
Man, if this is going off topic here, but they're showing, I think this is Sue Storm, Mr. Fantastic. If Mr. Fantastic was played by anybody other than what's his name? Fuck, Pedro Pascal, I probably would watch the movie. I'm so sick of that dude. So sick of that dude. Hot brings in the cha-ching. Yes, it does. People will put money down when things are attractive and hot. It's always works. Sex sells, whether you like it or not.
White people.
A white man? No!
The only Western games that have come out in the last couple years that have attractive female characters are Baldur's Gate 3 and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And I think
No, wait. No, let's not put Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 in the same category. No. I'm sorry. I played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and while their bodies were attractive, and that one chick you just showed, Catherine, might have had big hoo-has, their faces, no. I'm sorry. No. Baldur's Gate 3, I'll give you. No, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 doesn't quite cover the bar for me, or exceed that level for me. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Like I said, the big hoo-has, sure, those are nice. Faces, no, faces are important for me. Hugely important. I'm willing to overlook some flaws with the body if the face is attractive. Like, so for me, when it comes to women, I always find different things attractive about a woman. Personality, just the way they carry themselves, the face, stuff like that. And I'm sorry, but faces are huge for me. I'm looking at your face. I can't look at your tits all day. I gotta look at your face too. So if your face is not attractive to me, I'm sorry. I can't deal with it. In comparison to other Western games though. So here's the thing, is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 considered a Western game? Is it considered Western or Eastern? Because I thought it was considered Western. But in comparison to other games from the West, like Fable that we've seen so far, or games that come out like Star Wars Outlaws, or what's Concord, what was that other game I'm thinking about? Intergalactic, or I mean they're better, but I wouldn't put it on the same level as Baldur's Gate 3. Where's Poland again? I don't know, somewhere in Europe, right? Yeah, I mean, isn't that considered Western still? Eastern, when you say East, usually that means like Asian countries, right? Going to the East, to the Oriental, you know what I mean? Oh, I said Oriental. Isn't that bad to say nowadays? Oh, cancel.
Contributing factor to Baldur's Gate 3's success are how attractive the characters are. And there's the delusion that we want to see more average-looking people in games. Remember that weird ad a few years ago where this woman says she wants to finally see
this shit was so ridiculous. I mean, if If you don't call this pandering, then I can't respect any opinion that you may put out there.
Self in games and they show this like fat girl character. Like, no, that's not what we want.
Even in this body type, look what they still did with her face. I'm sorry, her face is still fat here for this type of body. Yeah, sorry.
Uh-oh. Oh. Jeez. It's the most cringe shit I've seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
74% of girls are obese, apparently, according to Dove. Then there's this idea that women get
74% of girls are obese. Well, I mean, maybe in America nowadays, that there may be some truth to that statement. I mean, you could probably say the same thing for men. I mean, I'm technically obese for my body height, you know, because I've been that way ever since high school. Because when I went in the army and everything, they had to do like tape tests and pinch tests and all this other stuff because my weight was always inflated because I had muscles, so I always weighed more than what I should based on my body height, right? So it's, but nowadays, yes, I would wager that most of your women and men are probably obese to some degree. Jealous of fictional women, they are pretty much large. They pretty much are. It's a chat game, yeah, but that's still the West. Come on, that's still the West. Anything that's not Asian, you're part of Europe, you're part of America, you're the West. Hell, I'd even put Japan now in the West. They've pretty much become the West because they kind of subscribe to very similar beliefs now.
Insecure and jealous and hate seeing beautiful women, but no, that is so patronizing. Like, we are all just walking around being bitter and jealous at every good-looking woman. It could not.
Okay, I won't generalize with this statement because it's true. Not every woman is like this. My wife's not, and I'm sure Serena's not. But I'd wager a lot of women do walk around bitter and jealous at beautiful women. Come on, are you going to tell me that women aren't bitter and jealous and catty all the time? A lot of them are. Hell, I just gave you an example from the WNBA with how the players there view Caitlin Clark. Her star was so big and came in and overshadowed a lot of the current superstars in the WNBA that they got bitter and jealous. The ticket prices, the attendance, they all soared when she came into the WNBA and made them look like they were nothing but pedestrian little playground, you know, basketball players that played at the park in your local community. And they got jealous. They got bitter because she was that much better than they were, and brought that many more eyes to the game than they ever could. Yeah, yes, a lot of women are bitter and jealous of other women who look better or are better than they are in whatever field that they happen to, you know, work or reside in.
Not be further from the truth. We like seeing other women look good. We want to live vicariously through them. There is a reason why most pop stars with a majority female audience, like Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift, are very...
Yeah, but there's a hypocrisy there. There really is. There's a hypocrisy there. I'm sorry, there is. I agree with what she's saying here about these artists, but there's a hypocrisy. Those women, one, don't play the games, and even if they do, for whatever reason, they don't want the female characters in the games to look good, even though you don't see movements claiming that we don't have enough fat representation in, you know, in pop or in rap or in country or whatever genre of music you listen to. I mean, you do have Lizzo, but even Lizzo's losing weight. And I think she caught hell for that too. Yeah, they want to gaslight other women to be ugly. You're right, they do.
Very attractive. We enjoy seeing them. We want to be them. And when I see good-looking people in games,
I enjoy seeing them and I want to fuck them. So, you know, that's... I'm not saying I would do it because I'm married and I love my wife, but internally as a guy, yeah. Russell goes hard for those chicks.
It draws me in. I want to learn more about it. That's what made me interested in Baldur's Gate 3 originally. And that's why my personal most anticipated game right now is Stellar Blade on PC. You get to...
Russell. Baldur's Gate 3 drew me in. The gameplay I thought was interesting. The world I thought was interesting. The character designs I thought were just icing on the cake, honestly. I really thought they were. If they were ugly, it probably would have stopped me from playing the game. I will admit that, because I don't want to play as ugly characters. But I thought everything else was just as top tier as the character designs. And the fact that I could have them naked in my camp and I had the freedom to do that shit. You don't have freedom like that in games nowadays. And the Baldur's Gate 3 gave you that freedom. Holy shit, sign me up, man. I don't care if it's technically got a lot of these woke concepts in it, and it does. And I think more has been added to it since I played the game. But it gave you freedom to not go down that route, or go down that route if you chose. It didn't shove it down your throat. If you got something shoved down your throat, it was generally because that's what you wanted shoved down your throat, which is always good. So I mean, I think it gave ultimately the freedom. You know what I mean? And I enjoyed it all. I don't know. It's the only Baldur's Gate I've played. I haven't played any of the other ones, or the Infinities, whatever they're called beforehand. I've not played any of those. So I don't know yes, player choice is the big key, Power. You're right. It really is. It's the big key. Like, I mean, you could have a woman with the dick in that game. I mean, my only complaint about character creation in that game, Power, is that there was no slider for boobs. I couldn't make my boobs bigger or smaller. It was just they were what they were, right? That's my only complaint about the character creator in that game. They should have gave me a slider. I'm assuming they did that for armor purposes or whatever, to make sure armors fit properly and there's no clipping or whatever. That's probably why. But come on, give me a slider or something, or give me an option to have bigger boobs. If you're not going to put a slider, give me preset sizes. That way you can make sure all your armor looks good and there's no clipping, sure. But give me preset sizes. Don't just give me one size fits all. You can ask a woman, and I guarantee you they're going to tell you one size does not fit all. And I'm not referring to boobs in that case. The Hooters and CD Projekt Red games are getting smaller with each game. Yeah, and I don't understand that. I really don't. Like I've always said, big breast lives matter.
Wear cute outfits, be hot, and fight people. What more could you want? But even still, these games have a vast majority male audience, so why are they trying to cater to the small female audience here? And I don't have a great answer to this. It's super weird. It's like they don't want to admit that they have a mostly male audience, or they don't realize who their audience is.
Well, the answer is they just don't want to appeal to the male gaze. They want to make what they find attractive, or what they want to see, not what their own, people who consume their product wants to see.
Is, or the darkest option here, and I think might be the right answer, they actually have contempt for their audience and don't want to give them what they want. I don't really know.
Very nuanced opinion on it, which is basically, who fucking cares? Have these people seen a woman up close before? What the fuck are we talking about, everybody?
Okay, dude, look to your left. Look what she looks like. And then ask yourself why she's dressed that way. Seriously, ask her why she's dressed that way. Ask her why she's not dressed like these ugly women. In fact, ask her why she's even up there. Go to the production people, be like, why is she here? Why do we have a hot female character here? Why did you cast her to be here? Why didn't you pick one of these fat, ugly bitches to be up here with me? Because I'm just saying, the answer to your question is right next to you.
Back in the 2000s and 2010s, most of these games' protagonists were these badass, good-looking guys like Ezio Auditore and John Marston, because the majority male audience can relate to them and live vicariously through them. And I liked them too. Assassin's Creed 2 and Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 are some of my favorite games of all time, and I love these main characters. But there's definitely been a shift in the type of characters these modern Western games use, and a lot of them are using female protagonists instead of male, but then taking the femininity out of them. And what you're left with is this androgynous slop with zero aura. It's like they think feminine women can't be strong and badass, so they have to make them more manly and unattractive, which is
That's pretty much what they do. That's exactly what they do with women in Western games. They take a guy's role, and all they do is put a woman's head on it. A lot of times they don't even give them boobs. I mean, if they do, it's just like a little speed bump, No mountains, no big heels, just a little speed bump.
Another insane thing to think about. It's like these.
And then they make the women act like dudes. Women don't act like dudes. They don't. As much as my wife hates other women, she's still a woman, and at times she still acts like what you would expect a woman to act like. She women don't act like a guy. They don't think the same. They don't act the same.
Developers just don't think highly of women themselves. And it's like they think that hot, feminine women have no agency and are not smart. I mean, who are the real misogynists here? Veilguard and Star Wars Outlaws are prime examples. Tosh is like the epitome of a modern audience slop character that's unattractive, unappealing, and unlikable. And with Concord, just why did they think this was a good idea? Characters that you play as need to be...
I never would have played Concord. Nope. Maybe for the meme. Maybe for the content. If I was big like Asmongold, yeah, maybe for the content. But outside of that, I would not have played it because I legitimately wanted to play the game. Would not have done that.
characters that the audience wants to be, not the usual rabble they would see at Walmart. Another delusion out there about hot female characters is that they are too unrealistic and that women don't actually look like this, apparently. I'd say women don't actually look like this. In each of these cases, they've made their character models worse than the actual humans they were based off of.
Yes,
and in the case of Stellar Blade,
but then you have characters in those same video games. Look at Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and then Forspoken as well. She's in that game, and she's in several other games. You'll know her when you see her. I can't remember her name, but they always accurately get her face in every single game that she's in. You immediately know that that's that same chick. The face is exactly the same in every game that she's in. You recognize her. It's like movie stars, right? The same movie, Deborah Wilson, exactly their power. You immediately know who she is when you see her in whatever video game that she's in. And they can't make all these other, body characters look exactly like them. Come on, don't. They tried to say it was too difficult, took too much time. Bullshit. Because I know you do it for Deborah. You can't do it for these chicks. Come on, don't give me that.
Eve is based off of a real woman. And in the case of Marvel Rivals, Sue Storm's ass is based off of this real model's ass.
What?
In the games industry,
What? Really? That's badass, man. I'm just saying. That's bad. Thought we've been over this, but once again, you cannot deny that it is my ass, right? That my ass is Invisible Woman, Sue Storm. Oh, that's so fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. So cool. So cool. That'd be like, you know how awesome it would be to be like, hey, that dick in that hentai game is based off of my dick. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, that's cool, man. I'm not gonna lie. That's awesome.
is one of the only ones that blame their own customers for their own abysmal performance. But take something in a completely different industry like Dunkin' Donuts. Their customers want sugary coffees, so they have ads with sugary coffees. And then they will serve the customers coffee.
Oh, and look at the women drinking the sugary coffee. I'm just saying. Look. They're attractive women. Hold on, look.
For their own abysmal performance. But take something in a completely different industry like Dunkin' Donuts. Their customers want sugary coffees,
women.
so they have ads with sugary coffees. And then they will serve the customers.
Just saying, there's a reason why they did this.
Customers coffees with 20 sugars and 13 pumps of caramel.
There's a reason why you don't have some fat Karen drinking your coffee for everybody to watch, because you know what? It's not appealing to people. You want your coffee to be appealing to people. So guess what? You have attractive women drinking your coffee.
It's just what the customer wants, and they give it to them. It's not that complicated. But at this point, there's been so much modern audience slop in games that seeing good-looking characters are actually green flag that the rest of the game will be good too. If they have actually taken the time to have an attractive character design that the vast majority of the audience wants, it's pretty likely that the game will have even more of what the audience wants. But I think these devs underestimate just how important it is to have attractive characters in games. And let's just take a quick look at Baldur's Gate 3's Steam stats compared with Veilguard's real quick. Oof, yikes. When I see characters that are just giving modern audience, I pretty much just check out. Like, there is no part.
And to be fair, Dragon Age Veilguard's issue wasn't just the character designs. I mean, from what I've heard, combat was okay, but the dialogue and the story was horrible. And the clips I've seen back that up, and there's a lot more to it.
Part of me that was interested in Avowed, and apparently I'm not the only one that felt this way. Who asked for these furries with mustaches and these weird plant people, and the women have this weird androgynous modern audience look to them?
Yeah,
like,
none
no
of those
thanks.
look good.
Let's just take a look at how the general public feels about these games with these ugly female characters just by looking at the YouTube like-dislike ratio. Yikes, 73,000 likes with 185,000
Yeah, and I'm sorry,
dislikes.
I don't find this woman as attractive. I don't, and I don't think she should be. Look, if you're going to use her as a body or face model, at least give her some hair. Make her look like an attractive woman. Someone you know who played Veilguard said the game was challenging. And so that's another problem with the way they do writing nowadays. They have to force feed you everything. They can't let the audience come to the conclusion on their own by telling a good story. They've got to, through dialogue, tell you every single thing. They got to tell you what to think. They can't let you come to that conclusion on your own. Poor storytelling, poor writing.
And they have also turned the comments off here too, of course. We can also see Fable with 26,000 likes and 63,000 dislikes. And back to that original question I posed before, who are these characters for? Because it's not for women. We all know they're not for men. And the crazy thing is that the vast majority
self-inserts are made for, the people who make this game so that they feel better about themselves. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. The people making the games just don't like attractive women. or it's an ESG thing. Like maybe they're afraid of backlash. Maybe there's check boxes they need to check to make sure they get that money. I don't know.
Of the gaming audience in general are men. These characters are not helping to sell your game. They are something to be tolerated, but they're not the reason people are buying. I actually do have some hope for the future of games. I think there's a tiny chance that some Western developers might get the hint that we want attractive characters. Concord got shut down after 2 weeks. The Veil Guard and Star Wars Outlaws were massive flops, avowed at the time of this video. Getting Made is not having great player numbers on Steam, so hopefully the message is getting across that we deserve better. With the absolute massive success of Marvel Rivals, which
I would say Val ended up being a flop. I would think so.
Is partly due to the amazing character designs, I think Blizzard might actually be finally starting.
The character designs definitely has got attention for Marvel Rivals, but I think the gameplay also helped keep that attention. So that's the thing with games. Attractive characters will get that attention, right? But you have to make sure that your game is still good. Attractive characters alone will not, make your game a success. Sex sells, yes. But if your product is crap, sex will not continue to sell. Sex gets that initial attention.
To get it.
For them to release what I call an attractive white character in Overwatch 2, they're sweating right now.
I don't even view that as... That's an okay character. To me, that's a safe, horny character. That's not really... Come on. You can't compare this to Overwatch. I mean, not Overwatch, but Marvel Rivals. You also can't compare it to the traditional Overwatch characters like Tracer and Black Widow or whatever. This is like a safe horny. It's not even... I'm sorry, that doesn't even work for me. It doesn't.
They are really feeling the heat, and where are they feeling this heat from? Well, of course, it's from Marvel Rivals. Okay, they're getting absolutely curb stomped by Marvel Rivals, and it's not
too much sanitization of entertainment. Yeah. For the most part, Large, you're right. That's exactly what's going on. That is exactly what's going on. All right, so this video, for whatever reason, is unlisted. I do not know why, but I will post it in chat if you guys want to go view it. Give it a like. I'm not even subscribed to her, but I like the video. This is the first video I've seen of her. So go give her video a like and subscribe if you like her channel and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, she's got a point. And as we've said before, you have your window dressing, right, has to bring eyes to whatever it is you're trying to sell. And the easiest way of doing that is making the character designs and the world of that video game attractive, right? And if you do that, people will look at your game. They'll look in your direction. It's the reason like guys want to look or women want to look their best when they go out clubbing. They want people to look their way. But your game also has to be good.